Another Hilux. Not as nice as the other one. That was a pretty good build though.
Yeah, not
Like
too bad.
it's like nice, simple, not too clogged up. Good colour.
There's one getting around that's not too bad. It's got the barrel motor in it. It's not.
That's ridiculous. On a Hilux.
Yeah, in a Hilux.
Power to weight ratio.
Stupid.
Now we got Nathan's Hilux in Bundaberg.
Just before we get to that, George, so that was Logan in Brisbane. It was like 100,000, over 100,000 views on that. So these builds are really popular. Is that how you describe them?
Well, it depends if you like Hiluxes or not, isn't it?
They're only popular because they're cheap
Yeah,
to buy parts for. They're a good truck. They're cheap to buy parts for, easy to do up.
Yep.
End of the day, it's a Hilux. Every young fella's got one.
So should we talk about Nicky? She's sitting here looking really interested.
Well, no, we're just giving her something to talk about. I mean, like I said, we've got another dual cab there with the Raptor paint. So obviously they're very customisable. You can do a fair bit with them. You know, he's just sort of... Oh, I thought it said XR6 motor there, but it wasn't. But they're customised. We talked about this one last week. This is a bit newer model. But we're not talking about Hiluxes today. Well, we are a bit.
We are.
Yeah, we are.
But today we are going to be talking about dual battery systems and a few blown up batteries that I've got laying around. But before that, Nick's actually got herself a Hilux.
Yeah, going on with Hiluxes, I actually have myself one. Obviously not as good as those ones done up,
But you want it to get to that point, right?
it will be done up like them, hopefully.
It'll be better than that.
What's
It'll be better
What's
than
your
that.
plans to do it?
Well, started.
You going to get a battery for?
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm going to get a paint job. Not sure on the colours yet. Looking at those ones, are actually pretty nice colours. Obviously there's a fair bit of work to do before I get a paint job. And then from there I'm going to keep the tray. It's nice. It's good.
It's actually a decent tray on this one. It's a I think I'm not too sure if it is, but it's a galvanised decent tray. You're gonna polish up the timber or?
Yeah, we'll have the wood in there and I want to keep that, so I'm going to sand that back, polish it up really nice, and it'll go good with the paint job.
So what's the primary purpose of your build, do you think?
Well,
Show your brother up?
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Nicky is actually George's brother, if you haven't guessed.
Sister.
Sorry.
Jesus.
George's.
Oh, you're a funny looking bloke there.
Yeah, well,
whatever. Okay. So you're actually doing a build with the focus on touring?
yeah, I do want to do a fair bit of travelling, camping, so I want to do this rig up to be able to go in places.
No, you're young, so you want to be able to go out for a drive with your friends and go camping. Touring's a long way down the track, trust me. I've been there.
You will destroy, you will do more damage. Take it from me and George. You will do that much damage to this poor truck, and we're going to be every afternoon helping you fix it. You might actually get somebody keen to go back out full driving every afternoon like we used to do.
So
Yeah,
George,
that's it, 'cause it's
George, what about a timeline? I mean, what do you think it would take to get this up to speed? And don't use Ray's
It's
example.
pretty logical, you know, and we're talking to people who are into
It'll-
four drives at the moment anyway.
Yep.
If anyone's got a build like this, it starts from a piece of crap and like all our
you
trucks
call
are
my
weird.
car a piece of crap, George.
Yeah, it's pretty
You just wait, mate. I'll show your car up.
At the moment, it's a piece of crap, but it will. You can always polish a turd, and this is
Yeah.
a turd, and George is going to help you polish it.
Yep.
I'll give you a hand to do it. It's all right, we'll get it done.
So Nicky, what was your spend on this? How much did it cost to buy, or was it a freebie?
I did get a freebie that I was
Right.
lucky
It
with.
was a bit of a barn find, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a bit.
Where did you find it?
Well, it's kind of came from the place when we got it as a bit of a leftover because they couldn't get the engine going.
Yeah.
What was the issue there?
So these old motors, they're pretty renowned for firing up after a long period of time. They just need a bit of TLC, so it's just a clean tank of fuel. Flushed it through a fair bit, and once it finally started, obviously it ran. I hit it with a key now, it's fine. It sat for a good 4 or 5 years without having the key turned. So pretty impressively, I took up and down the street and drove no worries after 5 years. So you know that is the
With
good
the
part
trade
about.
plate, George?
That's the good part about old Hiluxes. And you got look rust full up.
So Nicky, what's your timeline, do you think?
Well, I mean, George is going to help me, so it's probably going to drag on a bit long. But
It's going to be quicker than what Ray's building.
yeah,
I've just got a message from Bradley. He says freebies are the best build. Right, so it's
Yeah.
You're starting off with a good base, and you're just going forwards from there.
Nick, question for you. What sort of budget are you wanting to spend on? Have you thought that
good
far
question.
I haven't really thought that through.
You're not going to be
But-
stupid like some people and spend 20 grand on it.
Oh no.
Do you have 20 grand?
No.
No.
George,
I mean, George.
I'm
I have
broke.
George, and hopefully he'll lend me some money.
between George, myself, and the rest of the boys, I'm sure we can find parts for you and
Yeah, you'll get parts. That's about it.
turn it into something
I
decent.
was actually pretty surprised this had an aircon system.
Yeah, it
on
does
as
have
well,
an
eh?
aircon.
Did they come out with aircon these? I don't think they did. No, they
Yeah.
didn't. Not need a little snail on it. You always
Riley
need,
says, "Hey, George.
You always need a snail.
If you got any questions or comments about this build, we're going to follow this over the next few months. Is that right?"
Yeah, do a bit of a follow-up, bit of a check-in, make sure you're doing some hard work on it. And if you're driving around this afternoon, pop in and say g'day. We've got a few stubby holders and hats and stuff you can have a look. So if you want to come have a look in here and just pop by at 111 Hartley Street.
That's here in Cairns. If you're in the
111
area,
Hartley Street,
You're-
in Cairns, near the drain.
yep, near the drain. Drop in. We've got some merch to give away.
Hey,
So how much of this?
I was going to ask you, Nick, have you thought about a dual battery system? But you got a freebie. There's one here. It's a little red arc. Already.
Oh, I was going to give you that as your first little thing, but you already got a part into it.
That's right. You can give me something else, eh?
Well, that's actually we're talking about
a good one, it's a
some
DC.
battery systems today. Can you tell me what a dual battery system does? Come on.
What are you studying at the moment at TAFE?
Studying engineering and automotive. So this year I'm doing the engineering side. Next year I do the automotive.
But
So-
you've only just started, haven't you?
I've only just. Well, I haven't started the automotive course yet, so I learn all that stuff next year.
Oh,
But
trust me, you'll learn it when you start playing with
Yeah.
this. But as soon as you have a first breakdown, that'll that'll be the end of it.
So your intention is to do a lot of the work yourself?
yeah, with George standing by, making sure I'm doing everything. But I do want to do most of it, so I know how it runs, I know how it works, and if it breaks down, I can fix it.
Cool. All right, well, we're going to follow this build. You got any questions or comments, send them through. Let us know where you're watching from. And George, what have we got up next?
Well, like I said, dual battery systems and just some battery stuff. Unfortunately, I had something planned for today, which was a bit more exciting, but it fell through, so here we are.
Shout out to Wayne. Not sure where you're from, Wayne Usher.
First up, we've got a few batteries here that I was actually hoping to pull this apart a bit better to see what failed on this. This is out of my system, and they're a lot different inside to what I actually thought they were. It's just
Matting.
like matting with
Matting with lead.
like a yes. Oh, that smells like acid. Here,
Yeah.
oh, your shirt. So unfortunately, I couldn't strip that one open, but that's what the inside of a battery looks like anyway. And then this battery here is an example of an exploded battery, probably from overcharging, or I'm not too sure what it was out of, but it's exploded. And that happened in your engine bay. I'll tell you right now, all your interior paint is buggered, and your bottom of your bonnet's buggered. So it's not an ideal scenario, which is why Boo got us a few goodies today to have a look at. They may not necessarily prevent your batteries exploding, but for a four-wheel drive system, it's definitely going to make a difference.
So is this some...
These are a
Sorry.
basic dual battery system, essentially.
I'll explain to Nikita because she doesn't know yet. What's a dual battery system?
So basically, dual battery. Well, prime example is this little red arc system, right? That there is just it's an open closed circuit solenoid. So you've got power from your main battery. Pretty sure inside the drive tech catalog we've got an example. So pretty much you got your main battery, start battery, which is your alternator source. This links across positive there. One positive runs back down to your secondary battery and off to your fridge, lights, whatever you want to run. These have the ability that there you link in, gets ran to a switch to an earth, and it will join forces with the two batteries. Once your main battery drains enough, it'll come down and you'll be able to hit that switch to still have starting power.
Yeah.
So
Well,
why
this
does she
cuts-
need
this-
a dual battery? I haven't got to first base yet.
This cuts.
Why she
out.
needs a dual battery is because she's going to have a whole lot of stuff that if she's going to go camping, she's going to want to run a fridge, she's going to want to run lights at night, all that sort of stuff.
Because if you're running a fridge overnight and all your lights and your music, and you have a few too many drinks, forget to turn
Ask
the ignition
George.
off.
We've done that a few times, eh, Georgie?
Essentially what it does is isolate your secondary battery, which most of your accessories run on,
Yeah.
for your main starting battery for the car. So you can still start your car in the morning. Now, most four-wheel drive people already have these systems in. This is more of an explanation for people who don't or are hoping to get some. They're most of the kits come pretty filled out with the wiring systems. They're all a bit different. This one actually, the drive, I'm pretty sure it says it's a bit of a marine one as well.
Yeah.
I've seen them in boats for the exact same purpose. If a lot of boats have speaker systems in them and stuff like that. 140 amp, which is a fair bit of current to be able to run through that. I think most are about the same voltage, which is cut in at 13.4, cut out 12.7. So you still got plenty of voltage for your primary battery to hold up and start your car in the morning.
Let's have a look. Let's get everything here. So this is the drive tech system that, thanks to Justin at Nicky Crash once again, I rocked down there and just hit him up and grabbed one off the shelf and walked out the front door with it. Thanks to him, he's let us grab it and bring it down, and I can't get it out. There it is. So essentially that's our main unit there. It's got little breakout points there and there, so you can run your 2 wires to it. Again, this is like the Red Arc. It has the ability to wire that in.
Well, that'd be Earth, I think, that one.
Well, it can be Earth as well. And then you've got a manual override or an override switch there. It's 140 amp is what it's good for. It's suitable for marine everything.
Yeah, they're good for marine use as well. Like, these are just simple systems that we're looking at today. Unfortunately, we couldn't get some of the more awesome systems.
Well, these are 12, 24 volt.
And what sort of price point, something like that?
So this here, the Drive Tech one, you can pick up for between 180 to around the 230 mark. I know that Justin at NQ or NQ Crash and Full Drive Spares in Cairns, they've got them on the shelf at around the $200 mark.
Right.
But I'm sure if you wanted in there and said George or Boo sent you down, they'd do a good deal for you.
And this projected the kit. This is an older one.
Yeah.
That was their older units. It looked like they've gone to more of a Red Arc look now.
Yeah.
Red Arc seems to be the bee's knees. I'm not too sure how much you're paying for these. I think they're a fair bit.
Well, that little solenoid on its own is around the $180 mark. But to go for the Red Arc with all your leads and everything, you're paying up to the 380 sort of area. With the little projector one here that we've got, it's sort of it price ranges between $90 and $140.
Effectively, they all do pretty much similar job.
They all do the same thing. So yeah.
And we're going to have a look at a few setups actually with the systems in there.
I'll have a suss at yours.
I'll show you my weird setup. Mine's
You've got 4 batteries, don't you, George?
just 3.
3.
And then cars everywhere. So that's an example of just a 3 battery setup. I've got the older projector one in there. My primary's over the other side. It's on charge at the moment because that battery cut up before was a blown up one. So it's a pretty basic setup, well, for me anyway. All the batteries in the back, nothing in the engine bay. Simple isolator there, and it's a good system that works. You get a good week out of the battery, out of the fridge. What's
your reason to have 3 batteries? Can you explain what each battery is linked for the people that don't know?
Well, the primary one over the back side, it's hard to see because the wiring is a starting battery and it runs the cab itself. I had one secondary in here, but could only get a few days out of the camp fridge. I wasn't happy with it, so I've run both them in series. So essentially, you've got 2 batteries as your secondary. The primary, once it gets to the 13.4 volts, it'll start charging the secondaries off the alternator on the vehicle. So only once your primary is charged, then it will let power through to your secondaries. So it's not ideal if you've got a poor main battery, or you're always sucking too much power to your main battery.
So quick question, where does your inverter go in line with this system?
Well, we're going to talk about that a bit after, because there's a different way to charge these secondary batteries, which is the DC to DC charging system. We'll go over a quick
question from Matthew. He says, so your secondaries run in series in 24 volt?
No, that would be paralleling. just 12 volt, just so
Just
it's
12
one
volt.
series. If I had a 24 volt winch, I could then parallel the batteries and have them set up like that.
Yep.
But as is, obviously they're just 12 volts, so you're just getting double the amperage out of it,
Capacity,
double the
essentially.
capacity.
So how long did this take you to set up?
Oh,
Was
not
it a bit
too-
of trial and error, or you?
No, not really. I've done a lot of this work on boats and marine
Yep.
stuff, so it's pretty basic. But it can be a bit tricky if you. It depends where you want your power sucking from. All my accessories are off all the secondaries. Even the head unit's the only thing that runs off the primary. So. But- Right, I've heard that you've got a pretty decent sort of setup in here, or?
So to start with, this is Jason.
G'day, Jason.
This is Jason's little Triton. It's a pretty sweet little rig. Tell us what sort of system you've got in your car.
I've got the C-Tech 250 DS, DC to DC. So yeah, it just runs off got the solar panel up top.
So this system, it draws your power from your alternator through to your DC or through to the charger. It'll charge through to your secondary battery while the vehicle's on. When you switch the vehicle off, he has a 130 amp solar panel on the roof, which links back down into the C-Tech system. And the good thing about these C-Tech systems is that they have the built-in regulator and all of that for solar capability. Yeah. So these are awesome for houseboats, caravans, you name it.
Anything with a decent
awesome, yeah.
battery setup. So this is like we talked the other day with our camp setups. You know, we had the swag on the ground, the rooftop, and then we had the bee's knees stuff. Now we've gone from a single battery, a dual battery system with some of those isolators over there, to a bit of an upmarket one from here. And you can go to all different systems for these C-Techs. I've seen some 3, bank ones, and
So what was your decision in going with C-Tech? Was it just someone advised you?
Just
or?
advice, yeah.
Yeah.
I just heard it. I sent a lead, good value for money as well, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was just.
How many
I've
batteries?
heard-
You just got the one secondary?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a 130 inside there.
130 deep side.
Yeah. So yeah,
What's your run-on time on your fridge with that?
with the panel, it's been going since last Saturday.
Yeah, right. So with that system, you've got and the
With
solar
that system,
panel.
yeah, endless.
Yeah, you're an endless power supply for a fridge, for
So
example.
I went camping with Jason on the weekend, and we went down to Mission Beach. And with this system, he didn't have to start his car. I've got very similar setup to George with my camp trailer and my partner's car, and I had to start her car halfway through the 3-day long weekend to make sure that it started fine, but you could tell that it was dropping. I've got a voltage indicator and all of that in it, and it told me that I'd dropped down to 20% in charge.
So what stops you from actually draining your main battery?
It comes down to what your
the
solenoid
That's
isolator.
what that unit there does.
Right.
That unit stops the primary from discharging, but also charges the secondary and uses the solar panel as a charging source. So that's a more complex system of what we looked at before.
And you've got your little lights up the back here that you can run off of it.
Yep.
You've got your is it a GME two-way that you've got in there? You've got a fair bit of stuff that you do run off of it.
Yep.
You've got your winch, all of that, all runs from this system. And the beauty of it is he's got 2 batteries, not 3 like me and George.
Yeah, and you probably still land.
And he still kicks ass over us. So
And there's actually, have you heard of these? I've heard of one recently. The lithium-ion batteries. Have you heard of them?
Yes.
And the Enerdrive,
and a drive.
Enerdrive, I think.
And
I've
a
heard
drive
they're
up.
pretty impressive.
Down
You know?
now from they were like a year ago, $1,200. They're down about $560 now.
Yeah, right. So they're
Yeah.
dropping in price as
Yep.
technology increases a bit, I suppose. Because they're a system where I've heard of the same thing a week running without solar panel, for example, off just the battery itself.
You can run it right down.
Yeah, and run it right down, but still continue that voltage, but the amperage will drop down. But that's a pretty. I was hoping to get one in today because I haven't actually seen one yet, and would like to see exactly how they work.
Yep, I'll be your first customer to get one then.
Well, there you go. when you get one, you can come in and show us how it works because I'm pretty keen to have a look at it. I don't have enough money to buy 3 big batteries yet, so.
No, yeah, that's right. The one battery that'd be awesome.
Good on you, mate. Cheers for showing us around
Yeah.
and showing us a bit of a different system.
Yeah, good. Thanks for coming in.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
Oh, well. hopefully I don't blow another battery, and I might have to look at a bit more of an upgraded system. And yeah,
I still think value for money. You can't go wrong with these little drive tech kits, but
they've lasted me for the past few years, and you know it's good, I think.
Drive Tech also do the DC-DC setups. A lot of different companies do,
but for your little Hilux like that or something, just going full driving, that'd be perfect. For your big camping setup, then you need a bit more of a built setup. That's what our recommendation. We're no professionals at this, but that's what
we're no auto electricians, but these are just some of the products that we've tried and used, and yeah, they're all good products by far. I think value for money, I sort of would lean more towards the Drive Tech kit. I think. Which one would you lean towards, George?
Oh, because well, I've already got a projector kit, mate.
Yeah, but your projector's not quite right.
And a red arc. I've never gone with the red arc stuff, because ARB, it's usually an ARB thing, and when I walk in there, my pockets feel a bit empty every time. But cheers for watching, guys, today. Sorry if it was a bit boring. Hopefully next week we'll have something more exciting coming through.
I don't think it was boring.
Well, it depends. If you've already got these systems, we're just explaining stuff you know. But if you don't, hopefully it might show you a bit of insight.
Yeah, and a shout out for Nicky for coming in. So,
yeah,
Nicky, when are we going to check in with you again?
Next week.
Next week.
Are you going to have something done on it by then?
Really, you will?
Yeah, George is going to give me a hand.
I'm busy, mate.
Don't worry about him.
I mean, batteries will be flat. I'm not going to make it in.
We'll figure something out. We'll get something done.
No,
all
it's
right,
good.
cool.
So, of course, thank you, Trashman, for swinging us some parts to look at today. Inspired signs for our wonderful signage around the place. And the Grunt Ruts Garage at Camp Service Centre. There's the address there. No one's called in yet. Everyone's off bloody camping already.
Oh, I think I've seen one dude out there that we sort of know wherever he is.
Can't get in. And we're still doing a free road trip check if you want to pop in, and we'll do a quick run over your vehicle before you head north.
Shout out to Mark Wildman. He says, have a good weekend, guys. Got to run. Thanks, Mark, for tuning in. I don't know where you're in from.
Cheers,
awesome. Cheers,
I'm
Mark.
pretty sure I know that last name.
Yeah, I know that. I've heard the name.
Hey,
Jason, I think I've got a stubby cooler here for you, mate.
Hey, that's more
Be awesome for you.
Hey, if you want to set up, have a look at a bit of a Cape trip run. There's obviously a movie we've done there. Jump on and have a look. It's all on the website. So I think that's about it.
All right, cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Let us look at your comments. You got any comments? Give us a few likes, and we'll see you next week, right, George?
Adios.
Hopefully we'll have